And once again, we are live. It is Tuesday night and time for our Mesilla Valley News Sports Podcast. As always, we are out here on the patio of the Amador Live right outside of the Broken Spoke, as you can see from right above us. And you can come out and join us every Tuesday when we come out here and talk a little bit of Mesilla Valley News sports action. So first off, before we get to our guests, let's go ahead and go over a few things sports-wise that happened over this past weekend. One, Mario Mocha got a contract extension. So I think his contract was going to expire next year, but they went ahead and added a few more years onto that. So I'm thankful the fact that Mario is going to be with us for a while because he does a great job and he's a great guy. I've seen him a lot on some trips, and we're very happy for him to go ahead and hang around with us for a few more years. Also saw that, of course, Jason Hooten is busy. We now added a second Georgia product from the front court signee, as Clarence Monzy Jackson is the newest member of the program. The forward will be making his third Division I stop after spending last season at Jacksonville State and previous 2 years at Wichita State. So he will be an Aggie starting this next season. And Aggie basketball had an early game today. They actually started at about 11 o'clock. They were taking on OUAZ. Last time they played them, they beat them by 23-2. So they're looking to go ahead and see we got that win. Like I said, the game started at 11 a.m., but last time I checked, they hadn't got the scores up yet. So not sure if they won yet. We'll check those a little bit later. And 2 rounds into the WAC Women's Golf Championship, NM State has climbed into third place. The Aggies passed Grand Canyon and Seattle, and shooting a 292 on Monday as a team. Now, of course, they were playing again today. Haven't got those finals yet, but entering today's final round, the Aggies sit just 1 shot behind second place California Baptist and 8 shots behind Sam Houston, who lead the pack. And I know everybody's been waiting for this one, and finally, they've done it. Aaron Rodgers has been traded to the New York Jets. Yep, they have finalized the deal with the Green Bay Packers. Of course, Aaron's been there since, 2005, first-round pick. And the Packers will reportedly swap first-round picks with the Jets this year and also get a second-round pick and a sixth-round pick in this week's draft. The Jets get Rodgers, first-round selection this year. The Packers, the first-round selection, and a third-round pick this year. Green Bay will also get a second-round pick from the Jets, which could turn into a first, depending on the number of snaps Rodgers plays. So I guess, they got to make sure that he's going to be playing his games, and then they will kind of go from there. So that deal has finally been done. And, of course, we are starting in the first round of the NBA playoffs. And the 8th-seeded Heat took a commanding 3-1 lead over the Milwaukee Bucks after a 119-114 win in Miami. Jimmy Butler erupted for 56 points in the victory, setting a new playoff scoring record for the Heat. Out west, the Lakers outlasted the Grizzlies 117-111 in overtime in Game 4. LeBron James had 22 points and 20 rebounds as LA now holds a 3-1 lead in that series. And, of course, the NBA playoffs are continuing tonight. The Celtics hosting the Atlanta Hawks, Minnesota Timberwolves visiting the Nuggets, and the Suns playing host to the Clippers. Boston, Denver, and Phoenix all hold 3-1 leads, and they look to close things out in Game 5 tonight. I believe that Suns game starts at 8 o'clock tonight. I am a Suns fan, so I will be rushing home to make sure that I can go ahead and catch that game. And right now, we are going to be talking a little football, a little soccer. We've got CW in here, and go ahead and introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are and what you do.
My name is CW Ward. I'm currently the president of Las Cruces Youth Soccer Association. I coach. I coach. I play.
You play in the youth soccer? Well, not in the youth soccer.
In the adult league. Yeah, I'd be pretty all right. No, there's some really talented kids out there. I wouldn't.
They'd gas you in a bit, right?
In a second. So yeah, pretty involved with soccer, and just here to talk about soccer.
Awesome. And hopefully, I think you were going to try and bring some refs by today as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, Drew, our main ref guy, he's reffing tonight, so he wasn't able to make it.
So he's busy. He's got busy. A game to do, whatever. Didn't want to hang out with us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, maybe next time.
Absolutely.
Because I had a lot of questions about refereeing.
This is my first season. I'm actually a referee now.
Oh,
so
good.
I'm actually trying that side of the game, trying to learn how to, referee efficiently.
Efficiently.
Yeah.
I like that word, efficiently. You didn't say correctly. You said efficiently.
Yeah, I reffed the game last night. After evaluating myself, I realized I made a couple mistakes, and so just learning.
You know, as much as officials get a hard time for like some of the calls and stuff like they make, it's all part of the game.
Yeah.
And it's all one of those things. And you know, with especially with plays that happen so quickly, and you have to watch those minute things right there. I mean, mistakes can be made, but sometimes that's just the way the games. I remember reading a book once where they had a simulated kind of computer type game that was going to because set in the future, so they're doing old school football. And this guy thought he lost the game, but then suddenly the referee made a mistake, and so they randomly threw in mistakes in there for the refs to make, and you know, then the hero ended up winning the game. Not to spoil anything, I'm not going to give away the name of the book, but it was actually a pretty cool, interesting thing. Just started laughing because wow, they threw in the ref stuff in there for fun too. So we're not going to give the refs a hard time. We're not.
Just a little bit.
But we are going to maybe look at them a little bit weird, going like,
yeah, really? you know, just like when I'm reffing a game, I might make a mistake. The kid's going to make a mistake with the pass. The coach is going to make a mistake. You know, it's all about learning and just recovering from those mistakes.
Yeah, and learning from the mistakes, recovering from the mistakes, and that's how you become a better player. That's how you become a better ref. That's how you become a better coach.
Absolutely.
By learning all those things right there. And I will say this, as far as the referee side goes, I mean, I know parents can be pretty tough out there. So that's got to be kind of harsh. And, you know, I know that most of the parents are going to know you as the president of the league. So did they give you any breaks last night?
You know, my first game, not very many of the parents know me as president.
Oh, they don't? Oh.
Yeah. So, you know, my first game, I got a couple earfuls about, you know, missing a call here, the ball is out of bounds there. And, you know, parents try their hardest, and a lot of parents are just not educated enough in the game. So what they may think is a handball, or what they may think is too much pushing, is, you know, maybe fair play in the game.
Yeah.
So luckily, for the majority, I think I'm on my 8th game reffing, and I haven't had really very much problems with parents.
That's good to hear, because you know, you hear these stories throughout the nation. Parents get really outrageous sometimes, and for a while here in Las Cruces, it is a little bit like that. But it's all kind of died down. I think everybody's you know, following the rules and being nice to the referees.
Yeah, so far my president's, you know, one small little issue, but other than that, everything's been smooth, referees and stuff. So
yeah, that's good to hear on free side. Now, as far as your league goes, how long have you been president of the league?
So since September, I was elected.
Okay.
So not too long, but I've been in the league for about 14 years as a coach. I was also a district commissioner for the state youth association. So I've been pretty heavily involved for 14, 15 years.
Oh, that's good. And how long so 14, 15 years. So are you from Las Cruces?
Yes.
Okay. Born and raised?
Yep, 3rd generation.
Oh, awesome. So what got you into the league to begin with?
You know, I grew up playing soccer, and in 2006, I was actually took a trip to the World Cup. It was in Germany.
Wow.
Didn't get to go to any games, but we were there for all the festivities and such, and it really reignited my passion for soccer. At that point, my stepson, he was 5 at the time, started coaching his team, so got me involved in the coaching side of the game, and just grew from there to get more involved and volunteering and, you know, helping out the league, and, you know, now reffing and doing all that other stuff.
Oh, that's cool. So just so you pretty much love soccer for most of your life then?
Yeah, you know, it's my favorite sport. I think it's the best sport in the world. You know, my business, I make money off soccer. You know, I do signs and decals and shirts and apparel for soccer companies or soccer teams, excuse me. And so, you know, as my wife says, too much soccer in the house.
Too much soccer in the house. There's never enough soccer in the house.
Yeah, that's what I like to think. But
well, you know, the popularity of it's very interesting, because the popularity of soccer among the youth is very, very big. I mean, you have these huge leagues across the country. As long as I've been in Las Cruces, they've always had leagues. I've been here for about 27 years or so, and 28 years or so, 27. We'll say 27 to 1995. But I've always seen the soccer leagues, and they always have a big turnout. They always have a bunch of kids playing and everything else. But it's interesting that as you move on, Is it maybe the lack of opportunities as you move up in levels that kind of go up there where that interest kind of dies down a little bit, do you think? Or is it maybe one of those reasons why soccer isn't as popular? I mean, it's gained in popularity a lot over these years, but it's not quite up there yet.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you think about it, almost every adult played soccer growing up. If you're a sports kid or whatever, you at least dabbled a little bit in soccer. There's we could go on for hours about why it's not as popular, in the upper levels. One is locally, we didn't have middle school soccer. Okay. So middle school was through the public schools was not an option. Recently, we just got it. So we have 8th grade soccer.
That's good.
So now we have an introduction to those 8th grade, 8th graders are allowed to play boys and girls soccer. I believe it's in the fall for boys and in the spring for girls. Okay. So before we'd lose athletes to basketball or ball, the school sponsored events locally, and then we try to specialize kids too soon. We want those kids just to focus on football, just to focus on basketball, just to focus on other sports that sometimes the parents just don't want to play soccer.
Or because it's that trying to schedule everything in sometimes too, especially when you have sports that overlap.
Yeah.
Like the idea of having that soccer in the spring as opposed to the fall, makes things very, very happy for the football players that are on there, American football players that were on there. And even if you do have a spring season, like basketball is going to get in the way of both of those, sometimes the way that it goes. So I can understand that, parents are on a tight schedule and a few other things like that. But the idea of getting it into the schools now, though, gives the opportunity for those that actually do want to play and continue with the soccer, though. So that's a good opportunity.
One of the good things that we've noticed in the middle school soccer is they're all new kids joining up. They're not the majority of the kids signing up for the middle school soccer league are not part of our league.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to say probably 80% are new kids. And now it'd be fantastic. We could do that in 6th grade. We can get going in 6th and 7th grade, so we get those kids playing, getting them ready for high school. Because right now we're lacking a pipeline of kids to play high school.
Well, maybe eventually they'll go ahead and work on those. You can always talk because I'm not sure what level that they would go through, if it's going to be a local level or if they have some of those mid-school kids playing soccer in other places right there. So I'm sure that we can eventually work our way into that pipeline, because I'm sure the other supports like that really did have the I'm sorry, I'm getting hairs on my nose because right here just keeps throwing stuff right there. So just did it again. So getting that pipeline in there, I'm sure that you guys can work on that. And the more kids that come out, the more fun that they're able to see this, and the more that they can progress right there. I'm sure that that's just going to say, well, maybe we should, maybe have some of these, like a JV league or something like that, where you can get some of the, 7th and 6th graders in as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just want more soccer to be played in this town. I really wish we had more pickup fields where the kids just go play for fun. As I say, adults ruin everything. So it's like we get the adults out of soccer and just let the kids play. It's a game. All they're doing is playing a game.
That's not the first time I've heard that statement today. I'm gonna say that one right there, because adults do kind of have a tendency to take the fun out of things sometimes.
Yeah, when I was a district commissioner for the state, I was a liaison between the local league and the state. And, any kind of disciplinary stuff I'd hear. And out of the 6 years I was it was never a kid issue. Never had to hear a disciplinary action over a kid. It was always the adults.
Always the adults. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. And once again, we talk about, some of the stuff that happens with referees and parents and stuff. How many kids do you actually have in your league?
So right now we're having a little bit over 2,500 kids.
Whoa.
Yeah. Good amount. We were at 3,300 before the pandemic. So that's where I'm trying to hope to get us back there in the next year or so. So yeah, we have a pretty good amount. I think we're the largest league in the state. So,
wow. Yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, this is one of the reasons we end up talking about the weather every week on the sports show, because we have such great weather. You can get things started. You can get kids playing early, as opposed to, people stuck in a deep snow up in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho and stuff like that.
Yeah, we have, even in December, we'll have practices. So.
Yeah. But man, that's a whole lot of kids.
It is.
It's surprising. And when you mention that many kids playing, then it's surprising to me that you don't have that pipeline in already, with the kids really getting
Well,
to continue to play.
the majority of the kids is a younger age.
Mhm.
So, probably U12 and below is on the majority of our kids. So you're talking 12-year-olds and younger. And then, as they get older, we tend to lose kids to other sports or just quit playing sports to begin with. But yeah.
Yeah, that's where I ended up.
Yeah, if we could just, keep more kids invested in it, and we could have more high school players.
Well, I think part of that and getting that pipeline is letting the kids know that they would have those opportunities. I think I mentioned it before, but I didn't really get to finish that thought, that they have those opportunities to play as they get older, that they can play when they get into middle school. They can play and look forward to playing in high school. And then, of course, if you're in high school and, you're playing well, you're practicing, you're getting good, some of those opportunities could be available in some of the college ball stuff too as well. And being those programs well also and going there. So I mean, you looked so well. Our women's soccer team at Mesilla has done this season. They were killing it. I mean, their defense is just outstanding.
Yep.
But and you see the younger kids that go see them. It's like, man, I want to do that. And inspiring some of these kids really helps to go ahead and get them ready and want to play that next. And then when you get a bunch of kids and a bunch of parents asking, like, hey, why don't we have this? That's when things will start to change, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic, the women's team, how well they did last season. And, we always see the girls go out and, support, in the community and such. So that's good. And then also we have our kids go to the games and watch it, and they see that next level of, can they play high school soccer? Can they play college soccer? They get to see, that kind of level. So it's been, the NMSU stuff is really cool.
That's cool. So with that many kids on there, obviously you're going to break it up into divisions of age. How do you actually structure the league for you?
So the league is structured by birth year. So you're playing in your birth year.
Okay.
So January 1st to December 31st, and it's 08 is 2008 would be U15, 15 and under. I only know that because my son plays.
Okay.
I'm better with the birth
Good
years.
answer. Good answer.
But we have U8 and below. Is a section of kids, and then we have U9, U10 would play on a different field. U11, U12 play on a little bit more of a different field, and then U13 to U19, or actually U18, play on the full size field.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we have each of those things is divided up to give the kids the best opportunity to play.
Okay. And how many teams do you have playing? Like what?
It's about 300 teams.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
How do you keep track of all that?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. We have a fantastic people in the office. Eric, Gabby, and Drew, they take care of all the administration part of it. Drew's the scheduler and the ref assigner. So he's schedules all the games, and then he'll assign referees to those games appropriate. Eric is a registrar. He kind of makes sure everybody signs up properly, makes sure we find teams for those kids. And then Gabby is our office administrator. She's just answering phone calls and making sure everything's going well.
Wow. And where are you playing most of these games?
So we have three major fields. We have PVD, which is across from the Aquatic Center. Then we have Burns Lake, where,
they just redid those.
And then we play at High Noon, which is behind Mayfield.
Behind Mayfield, over there. Oh. Okay, so, but you can always use more fields.
Absolutely. That's the struggle we have is we don't. Las Cruces Youth Soccer doesn't have any fields. We utilize public school fields and city fields. So it's sometimes kind of a hassle to have an event last minute. We have there's ODP is a Olympic developmental program is run by the state, and sometimes it's a struggle to have fields for those events when we have them. So yeah, I mean it is a struggle with the fields, but.
Okay. Trying to think what would it take to go ahead and get those fields or get something to happen where they would at least open up some of those other opportunities for you, because I'm sure that once again when we talk about some of the opportunities we have here because of the weather, that our good friend Ed over at this would love to maybe schedule tournaments or schedule other things like that with to help you out with your leagues.
Yeah, so we have a tournament actually coming up on May 12th through the 14th. It's called Cruces Cup. We'll have teams, I think, signed up already from Albuquerque, El Paso, Deming, Silver City, and the surrounding areas are going to play. So far, we have about 55 teams coming.
Okay.
Hoping to get registration ends, I think, in a week or so. So hopefully get a handful more teams.
Get over 60 teams would be nice to go ahead and get that tournament.
Our goal, or my brain goal, was just one I was kind of quiet about, was 100 teams. So if you get 100 teams, that's big. We used to have the whole enchilada tournament, and now we get 300 teams.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would probably remember.
Oh, that's prime time of the year to get that done too, in the fall right there in the early fall.
So we're going to bring it back. We did it last year. We got about 65 teams last year for the whole enchilada, and then we're going to do it again this year in the fall, and hopefully get 100, 125 teams.
I'm going to correct you on one thing. I think that that's your brain goal right there. Your heart goal would be nice to get up to those 300 teams again. Yeah. You want to lead with your heart and be able to go ahead and say, okay, we want this for this league, we want this for this teams and our players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If we have that, I have a feeling if I asked you the question, what would you like the most for the league? Probably fields would be number one.
Yeah, just what would I like most for the league? That's a loaded question.
Because there's so much, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a lot I would love to have. Field's one of them. Yeah, Field's a nice complex, one central complex where we don't have to. We have parents that have kids in all divisions, so they're driving from Burns Lake to PVD to High Noon. They're all over the place. They're all over. And so if we had one central complex, that would be,
well,
legit.
I'm not going to go into the history about getting a central complex for sports in general here in Las Cruces, because that's also a loaded question and a loaded piece of history as far as some of that stuff goes.
Yeah.
But eventually things did come to pass, and eventually it might do that. Las Cruces has been known as Titletown USA before because of all the sports and what we do with that. And I think a lot of people here in town, obviously because we're doing this podcast, that a lot of people care about sports in this town, and they do want us to be successful with a lot of different things, right? And it doesn't surprise me the amount of kids that you have playing right there, but it surprised me how many times that loses that momentum. Like I said, that's what kind of surprises me about soccer in general, is that it kind of loses that momentum as everybody gets older. What you kind of think, what do we need? What could we do to go ahead and keep that momentum and keep that interest and everything going on?
Ooh, that's another loaded
question.
That's another heavy question. What can we do?
We don't go for the easy questions here, CW.
Keeping it simple and easy for the kids to play and keeping it fun. I've been to a handful of coaching conferences, and one of the things was why did you quit playing soccer? And it's because they're not having fun. And so if we could keep soccer fun, keep it fun for them, keep it, and I think that comes with coach education. I think that comes with, accessibility of fields, parent education. I think there's a lot that comes. There's a lot that encompasses.
There's a lot of little things and little pieces that kind of come together to go ahead and that. But that is one thing that when you talk about it being fun, and sometimes when they stop playing because it's not so much fun, I can honestly tell you that's the reason I stopped playing soccer, because we had goalie tryouts one day, and I'm going to tell you this: I did pretty well. But my body did not feel great that next day, especially once you take a couple in the gut.
Goalie is a very hard position.
That is it's a very tough position. In retrospect, I wasn't all that bad, but I did kind of lead with my body instead of my hands at times, and a few bruises and a good couple of gut shots, and I was like, you know what, I don't know if I want to play soccer anymore.
And some of these kids can kick the ball super hard, and they're trying to defend it. Yeah, it's I tell my kids when I coached the goalie, it's like, be the hero. Mm-hmm. If you're getting shot on, that means everybody in front of you messed up. So just have fun and try your hardest.
You're the last stand right there. You block that shot. You prevent the goal, and they will carry you around the arena, as the winner of that game, as the hero for the game. Absolutely. And there's also that one time that you accidentally kick the goal in there yourself, and then they're gonna take down, and
the famous own goals. Yep.
I've seen. I was watching some sports highlights. And one of them was a soccer highlight where the goalie was brilliant. He stopped the ball, but there was another one of his place on the ball and he had his foot on the ball, stop that, go in. But his other player, for some strange reason, did not realize that it was him that stopped the ball, and he kicked it out from under his foot into the goal.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And the goalie just looked at him like, "What were you doing?" Yeah, exactly. So I'm all about those kind of sports highlights for myself.
There's plenty of bloopers for soccer.
Oh, there's a ton. There's soccer, everything that's out there. I'm loving all the pitch clock stuff now for Major League Baseball too. Some of those highlights, it's like, what are you talking about? So those ones are always good. But that's the fun of sports, I believe. That in general, you do want to have fun with sports, and you want to continue playing because you are having fun. It's the same thing as everybody says, find something that you're having fun with, and then find a way to make money at it, and you'll be happy for the rest of your life. Because when you have to go to work, then you have to go to work. If you're going out to do something that you enjoy, then you're having fun with it. And that's the same with any type of sports or any after-school activities or any of the extracurricular activities that they have. If the kids are having fun with it, they're going to continue to want to keep doing it.
And they're going to continue to play hard too. And they're going to, you could have fun and be competitive. You could have fun and be recreational. But, I have a saying, it's just let the kids play. All they're doing is they're playing a sport.
Okay.
They're playing a game.
All right.
And so as long as they're having fun, then we're doing all right.
Okay. I do have one. Once again, we're going hard with the questions right here. What's with the tie?
That's the American That's
hardness. The American question right there.
Yeah.
And you can't say that because in the past couple of seasons we've had ties in the NFL.
Yeah, that's
and I didn't think that could happen. I was like, what do you mean there's a tie? What this isn't soccer.
And I was like, when I saw ties, I'm like, I'm okay with it. We're used to it. The way the Europeans and the world does soccer differently is the season encompasses the whole season as a whole. I don't know, trying to make sense here. Is you're trying to win, of course, but a tie is still okay. And when you tie in soccer, you actually still get a point.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand, that soccer does work on a kind of point system. So when you win a game, winning a game gets you the most points.
Yep.
But tying a game will still get you points. Losing a game, not so much.
No points for
that.
No
points for that. So when you see all these ties right there, it's a win-win because both teams will get points. But like you said, they're looking at the whole the season as a whole.
Yeah.
Right there. It's almost even like looking at a boxing match when you go round by round and you score each round. If you go to the finish right there, which everybody's hoping to do, then you're going to go take a look at that whole match by those scores and how each one scores and how they add up. That's the first thing that came to my mind was that. So in soccer, it's kind of like the same thing. So you have a few ties in there, and that's going to happen. And the more wins you get, the more points you have. So you're looking at that whole point system.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, too, is we don't, in soccer, there's not the playoff system, in the regular leagues, like to determine the winner. So each game does matter. And when you're talking extra time, of course, there is extra time when you're talking about, Champions League, the knockout rounds, stuff like that. You're going from a 90-minute game to a 120-minute game. And those 30 extra minutes is super heavy on those athletes.
Yeah.
So
well, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand with soccer, and I'm not so much how much it is with the youth leagues, but I do know that there's no timeouts.
Yeah.
When you're going to play a game, you start the clock, you stop it at half, and then you start the clock again, and you stop it at the end of the game. I know this because having to not cover, but to be back at the station covering the board for someone who's doing a soccer game, he had to call that whole thing straight. And then during the halftime, it's like, get all the commercials in you can, and then you go ahead and get that done. But having to talk for that long, and then you wonder how some of these foreign announcers have so much fun with that whole thing because they don't stop.
Yep.
And that's the whole thing about the players right there. They don't stop for that whole thing. I mean, that's some incredible endurance for most everybody. No wonder all the other sports are like, you know what? That guy would be pretty good for us.
Yeah,
that gal could be pretty good for us. I don't want to make it seem like I'm bad now.
Yeah, 45 minutes, that's each half, and then you're talking running miles and miles a game. It's pretty incredible what these athletes do, and even the little kids. Our little kids are running out there and
yeah, and you think about all the energy that kids have, and like you said, even as a referee, if I'm running back and forth, I'm gassed probably before the first half was even done. So even those guys you guys got to work out that way too.
Yeah, that was one of the things. I referee U12 games, so 12 years and younger, and those kids are fast. Those kids are, and they don't stop. They don't. Yeah, they're great athletes.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the surprising things about the whole tie thing, because you've said these kids and these players will run 4 miles, and then you end up in a tie.
But you still get a point.
But you still get a point. Yeah, so you still get a point. So that does matter. And like we said, in the point system, that's one of the things to keep in mind when you are watching some of those games or trying to follow the leagues. I would encourage somebody to go ahead and follow one of the leagues. Just in general, maybe follow your leagues. Like, do you have a website or something that?
It's Las Cruces Youth Soccer. Mm-hmm. If you just Google it, you'll be able to find it. We have a weird domain. It's not the easiest, but yeah, if you just Google Las Cruces Youth Soccer, you'll be able to see the website. We has our schedules and scores and such.
Yeah. Well, following your league with the amount of teams that you have, but even if you're following some of the professional leagues, Premier League, something else like that, where you can kind of keep track of the overall season, find a team and find out how good they are or not. And then you can kind of get to understand these games a little bit better. Because I think the general understanding of how soccer works and how the whole thing works is another one of the things that inhibits its popularity, I think.
Soccer, if you watch it, I know I'll probably get some kickback for this, but it's a complicated sport. You're talking about position, you're talking about there's 11 players on each team, 10 on the field, so you're talking 20 players just moving around and with one ball, with no timeouts. And so watching soccer, I love it. I mean, it's just so fun watching. I don't even focus on the ball. I focus on off the ball movements. How the defense
players are setting up,
how the defense is shifting, the off the ball runs, is the fullback moving forward, is the wingers doing their job. And so if you just watch soccer, it's a brilliant, it's fun. And the Premier League is my favorite.
Is that your favorite? Yeah. You got a particular team?
Unfortunately, yes.
Don't say it.
Manchester United.
I knew that was going to be. Everybody I know is a United fan, a Manchester fan.
There's a big group of us here in town. There's a bunch of Arsenal fans. Unfortunately, my house is full of City fans. Okay. My 2 kids like Manchester City, I think, just to spite me, but it's all right.
Yeah. Kids will do that.
Kids will do that. It's fun. But yeah, no, there's a big group of Premier League fans here.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that, like I said, as far as popularity goes, it's not as popular as your baseball, football, or basketball type stuff. It's becoming more and more popular every year. I mean, even just a few years ago, you were talking about getting Premier League games on TV.
Nope.
You had to order some sort of special thing to get that right there, but now you're getting some of these games on TV. You're getting them on national TV.
Yeah.
And so I think Fox is carrying some of those games, right, and a few others.
Yeah. So it's, the ease, of course, streaming sports is making it a lot easier to catch games and stuff like that. But NBC picking up the Premier League, 4 or 5 years ago, was fantastic, because now we get all the networks. Like we watched a game this weekend on USA, so on USA was showing the games. So the ease of it is a lot. It's a lot better for us fans.
And, well, not just as the fans, and we talk specifically because it's going to build that fandom for the Las Cruces Youth Soccer. It's going to get those players, because the younger kids see an older brother or sister watching these games, or they see dad and mom watching these games, and they watch the games and they start to understand how it works and everything else, and they want to play and get out there. Once again, it just kind of builds it. Slowly it builds, but it's going to get up there. And I think that's the important thing to go ahead and realize that, it's always been popular, but now the accessibility is getting better and better.
Well, yeah, you have major leagues across, all European, North America, South America. So now, if you don't like the Premier League and you want to watch La Liga, you could watch La Liga. You watch, the Bundesliga. You could watch all these different ones. If you have family from Germany, you can find your German team and focus on them. And the ease is really, it's good.
It's making it a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Now you said you've got a trade coming up like there. What's your season like in general? When do you guys start?
So in fall we play from September to November.
Mm-hmm.
Spring we do March till May.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
so you guys just got started here.
Yeah, I think so.
Last month.
Yeah, we have a pretty short spring season. We're trying to do a mini summer season
Mm-hmm.
where we have, like I said, I like to pick up just the freedom of pickup soccer. So we're going to try and do a pickup league.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah, where the kids show up and they get put on random teams, and you play with kids you don't know, and just try to get that, going.
That'll be interesting. Get spend an afternoon out on the field, just getting the teams together and playing out. That would be fun for the kids.
Yeah,
give them something to do over the summer. Of course, that summer break isn't as long as it used to be. Yeah. So yeah, well, and that's gotta. We talked a little bit about this because we had Alfred Rue from Mayfield as the AD up there, and the idea of that balanced calendar. How does that make a difference in your teams and your play and with the kids there?
Oh wow, we had to before we'd start when school started, and now it's a little messy, but we haven't changed anything. We kind of stuck to our historic calendar. Mm-hmm. I wanted to push the league forward sooner, but we don't want to play in July and June, during the day.
What, you have something against 110 degree temperature? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. 110 is Phoenix. We're only about 105.
Yeah.
100 for a couple of weeks anyway.
I know my son's going to play in Phoenix this weekend, and it's going to be 102 on Saturday. I'm like, oh, drink your water. Drink your
water. That's a very important. Water. Stay hydrated with the heat that comes in, because that will get you. I used to live in Phoenix, and I was there in the early 90s when they had the old record, which I think was 100 and I want to say they were saying it was like 112, 113. But that clock in downtown Phoenix, they had one of the bank clocks up there. Mm-hmm. I could have swore it said 117, 118 downtown, man.
It's a little hot, warm.
The hottest I've ever experienced it was like 112 at midnight.
Oh, wow.
And I was very, very happy that we had a lukewarm pool.
Oh, I bet that was nice. Some, hot summer swimming.
Hot summer swimming at night is great. It's awesome. I've also had the opposite effect where I used to live in Houston, where you're off the bay and everything, you're getting all the humidity right there. So I like to tell people, if you want to understand the difference between humid and not humid, go into a swimming pool. If you're in Phoenix, when you get out of the swimming pool, you pretty much don't need a towel because you're going to be dry almost and I won't say almost instantly, but pretty much it's all going to evaporate right away because it's so hot. It's a dry heat, right? Do the same thing in Houston or any place where there's a lot of humidity. You will dry off with your towel, and you will have to continue drying off because it's just like that. That's not the worst I've ever felt. Gainesville, Florida was the worst I've ever felt as far as humidity goes. And it makes me so happy to be where I am here in the middle of the desert. I'm not going to lie. It is one of the reasons I moved to the middle of the desert, because when people joke about a dry heat, it's no joke.
Yeah.
It's no joke at all. I hope your son has fun then next week, and that'll be. Are you going to go with him, or are you just going like, nah, go ahead?
I went last weekend. He played in Austin. I went to that trip, so this weekend his mom's going to take him. So
yeah,
she's going to be in the heat.
Be honest, CW you went 102. Oh, you guys have fun. How about?
No, we switch off. My son plays in a competitive national league, so we have games in Utah. Colorado and stuff, so we switch off every.
So I would say, just as a parent, then not necessarily with the LCYSA, but there are opportunities sometimes when you can see those for the kids to kind of continue playing as you get all these different leagues and things that are available if they really want to go for it and if they're good enough.
Yeah, so there's plenty of opportunities. Like I brought up earlier, ODP. ODP is a state-run thing that kind of identifies those upper level kids and puts them on teams, and so my son was luckily a part of that. So he makes the state team. Then the states go in January and they play other states. So New Mexico played, I think we played Utah, Idaho, and Montana, and we actually won our division, so they were the ODP champions.
Oh, that's cool.
So they had those opportunities, and then from those you get picked to go to regional camps, and then from the regional camps you go to national camps, and so there's a pipeline to get out of the city for soccer.
See, now I feel bad because I know we're supposed to talk Las Cruces Youth Soccer Association, but the idea of soccer in general and getting that popularity up for me seems like it's really important to get the kids out there and so they can understand some of these opportunities that are out there.
Yeah, I mean, you want to start the kids out young and playing and having fun, and then some of these kids it's a way to get out of this town. It's a way to get a college scholarship. We've every year there's multiple kids that get we just have, as a matter of fact, today just 2 kids from Centennial signed to play for the UDA team here in town.
Oh, nice.
UDA is an NMSU.
We've had those guys on here
okay,
before. Cool. I was following them when they went to their tournament games and stuff like that. So,
Open Cup.
Yeah, the Open Cup. Yeah, so we were kind of following them on there, and they had a pretty good season this last season.
Yeah,
as
not
well.
bad.
Yeah, so they were pretty good. So yeah, we've had them on a couple of times. They're fun, but they're a fun bunch of guys.
Yeah, they're a good group of, and then once again, that's on the boys' side, so we get to see the teams, the local teams are through the youth get to go out and see that hey, I can go play for NMSU, or I can go play. In
fact, I think as part of the radio station, I think we were out there for a few of their games.
Okay, cool.
Playing some music and having some fun with one of our stations that was out there. And I forgot to mention that because I did mention the women's soccer team at NMSU, which is going to be an NCAA type of thing. But the UDA available for the men's side right there is still actually pretty cool that they have that league and that opportunity here.
Yeah, it's different. It's different than the girls' side.
Yeah,
it's of course it's not really a Division I team, but they don't have to follow NCAA rules. So there's more training available. They're allowed to kind of do what they want, and it's a great outlook for the kids.
And and it's really cool because they got players from all over the world.
Yep.
And it's pretty cool to see these guys come in here and I'm waiting for that first time they set them down and said, "Oh, try the ketchup. It's a little spicy." That's the red, just in case you were wondering. So yeah. Or they fall in love with green chili, and the next thing you know, they just love being here. Because you get that story a lot from a lot of the people that stop by, and a lot of the athletes that come into to town, either through NMSU or there are other opportunities that come like that. You hear that a lot. But okay, so we don't have that much further to go. You said you have a short spring season, but you are looking forward to that summer season. Somebody wanted to get involved with your league. What would they do? How would they do that? Would they go to the website or contact you?
So the best thing to do would be Google Las Cruces Youth Soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the website. You'll see all the information about becoming a coach, becoming if you want to play or if you want your kids to play. There's on Facebook the Las Cruces soccer page. Mm-hmm. That is a good portal for all soccer in Las Cruces. And if you're looking for kids, kids looking for teams, even on the adult side, if adults want to play, adults are looking for teams, that's available too as well.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even think about adults playing.
Yeah, so we have an adult league. It's Mesilla Valley Soccer.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mesilla Valley Soccer League.
Okay.
And it's an adult. It's basically soccer for adults.
For those that can handle the 90 minutes?
No, well, so there's different leagues. Like I played in an over 30 league.
Okay.
So it's 30 years and older, and we play small-sided. I think it's 7v7. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit less competitive. Now they do have an open division, which is, your 45-minute half and 11v11, and I gave that up many years ago because
there are 2 things that really stop me from getting into that. Well, I should say 3 things. 2 of them are my knees, and the other one is just the idea of even staying out for half of that long. I mean, I probably run back and forth a couple of times and go, "Coach."
Well, we have subs. My adult team, we have subs, and we're constantly rotating in and out. We make 5-minute runs and then
kind of like an NHL hockey team. One guy goes out, one guy's out there, get the change. Yeah, you get the changes. Go ahead and get those done. And see, that's something I didn't know about in an adult league here in town. That would be something pretty cool. We should have some more of those guys come on to talk about
put you in contact with them.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be a lot of fun. But as far as your league, so you're looking for not maybe just players, but you're looking for coaches and referees and the whole thing like that.
Right now we're lacking coaches.
Really?
We have more coaches. There's kids we have a waiting list.
Okay.
So at any given time, there's multiple. I think last time there was 130, 140 kids on the wait list.
Wow.
So if we had more coaches, more teams,
then we'd have more opportunities for some of the kids to get out there and have some fun.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that move into town a lot. So maybe if you have some soccer experience, maybe you want to pass on your knowledge to the younger crowd, there's an opportunity,
And even if you don't, soccer, we supply coach education, so we help you get educated as far as coaching. The state NMYSA does. We have a great technical director. He's kind of the coach's coach.
Okay.
He runs sessions, classes, classroom stuff like that. And so even if you're a newbie at soccer and you just want to learn, he'll help you out.
Maybe if you're great at motivational speeches,
something like that,
No, I've that's actually pretty cool because I'm a pretty good coach at coaching kids. I used to help a friend of mine out with pre-K. She had a pre-K, and we're only 5 or 6 kids that she would watch at a time. But I used to help her out, and I was a pretty good coach at running around in a circle for no reason, which was similar to soccer in that aspect. Not for no reason. Ties count. But it's amazing how much fun kids will have. Like literally, I would say, "Hey, let's run around in a circle for no reason," and kids would run around in a circle for no reason. Their parents would come over, going like, "What are you doing? We're running around in a circle for no reason?"
Yeah, I got to go out and watch some of the 4-year-olds play soccer,
and
that is like watching cats wrestle. I mean, it's just
like
organized chaos.
Cats.
Yeah, it's organized chaos, but it's. I have a 19-year-old son that just quit playing soccer. I have a 15-year-old son that's playing higher competitive league soccer. But that's the soccer I love. Just those kids 4-year-old, like it's just the most purest. The kids are laughing. One of them's picking flowers. The other one is running to mom or dad, and it's just, that's my favorite soccer.
Yeah,
it's watching those kids.
Because they're having fun. It doesn't really matter what they do. That's the idea that they're having fun.
And it's the little, yeah.
And it's the little things, yeah. So you might see a kid that'll be playing and suddenly stop because he doesn't want to step on the flower that might be on the field or something else like that, or doesn't want to step on a bug that he saw, or
stop. To wave to mom
or
and
just
dad.
Stops to go like, "Hey, Mom."
Yeah, it happens all the time. It's funny.
I think but that's the joy of kids getting into that and discovering things like that. And then, as they get older, they get an understanding of how things go. And then, they continue to have fun with it, hopefully. Because I think that if there's anything that I'm going to take from this conversation is that, to get the kids out there having fun. Because if you're having fun, no matter at what stage you are in the game, you're going to continue to want to play that game.
Everybody wants to have fun.
I want to have fun.
Everybody wants to have fun. And if you're having fun and you're running around and, you're playing a game and it's fun, you're going to keep playing. I mean, I'm 42 and I'm still playing.
Yeah.
We have fun.
You have better knees than I do. So, mostly better knees.
I have a lot of Advil. No, I mean, we have a good group of friends that play over 30 and, it's all my friends. We just go out and we have fun, It's just fun.
No, at any age that you could really, as long as you're having fun. I mean, coming here pretty soon in June, we're going to have New Mexico Senior Olympics. The state games are going to be coming into town. So we're going to have something like 2,500 athletes. A lot of athletes going to be coming in. Over 25 different sports they're going to be competing in.
Cool.
I don't think soccer is one of them, but they are going to have everything from track and field to some shooting events, swimming events, all kinds of things that are going to be going on right there. So they recently held the Las Cruces games here. They were holding them over a number of weeks. And so it's one of those things where I'm talking to somebody at the Senior Olympics and I suddenly realize that I qualify for the Senior Olympics.
What is the qualifications for?
50 years old and up.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And then they separate the divisions by age. So they go by 5-year age gap. So it's like 50 to 54, 55 to 59. And then they go up that way. So that way, the 52-year-old doesn't have to worry or feel bad when they get beat by the 80-year-old. Because I know that happens because those 80-year-olds have been doing running, playing stuff for years. And, I'm going to go ahead and try it out. And then
we actually have in the adult league, there's a division called Vintage. It's for the older folks. And we actually have an 80-year-old guy that comes out and plays. And so
it's not like a class or anything else like that. I like the idea of the term vintage. I'm sorry, it caught me off guard.
No, it's cool. It's
is cool.
It's for 40 and over. So I actually
played, you qualified for the
vintage league. This is my first season playing in it. Every time you show up, you just divide up into teams. kind of make it equal, and you play, and it's anywhere from 40 to 80.
Yeah. And I bet you a lot of people don't want to have to go up against that 80-year-old guy because he's going to make you look bad.
He has made me look bad multiple times this season. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's why in the Senior Olympics they go by group age groups and by fives, so that you have the opportunity to go ahead and compete with someone that's near your age. But yeah, like I said, and a lot of those players, especially some of the players that I've talked to in the various sports, they're doing it because they're having fun. They're doing it because of a social aspect. They're doing it because they get to hang out with a bunch of other people and talk about things and get to do those things. And then there's that competitive spirit that kind of gets in there, that I think everybody has, and they don't realize it until they actually get there going like, oh, I'm just doing this for fun. And next thing you know, they're the ones that are yelling at the ref. We're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, even in vintage, sometimes the refs get yelled at a little bit.
Yelled at a little bit.
Yeah, but it's all good fun.
And once again, like you said, if you have some people that want to be referees and stuff like that, they do go to ref school.
Yeah, so it's all done online. So it's about a 4 or 5 hour course online. Mm-hmm. Lots of videos, lots of multiple choice questions. You take that and then you get mentored. Yeah. Sometimes the refs will do a scrimmage, and they'll have you come out because how to hold your flag and how to call calls and stuff like that, and so they'll teach you.
Yeah, the only kind of officiating I've ever done was for high school volleyball. They had me as one of the line judge, one of the guys in the corner, and sometimes, like, to me, it seemed like it was obvious there was a call. They were waiting for me to call it, and it dawned on me that they were waiting for me, and I'm going like, oh, that was out. You didn't see that?
Yeah, that was, last night we were reffing, and I was on the line, so I was seeing who it went out on. Mm-hmm. The center ref looked at me, and I just put my hands up. Like, I don't know. I don't know who it went out on. So sometimes it just happens.
So, yeah. Well, all refs are not blind. And as far as I know, there's no mandatory eye check every once in a while. It's not like you come in and say, here's your ref shirt, here's your whistle, here's your thick glasses, just in case somebody ever has any questions about it, things are going on. You just point to your glasses and say, I saw that. That's why I know exactly what I'm talking about. Stick to your guns, despite any video evidence or witnesses to the contrary.
Yeah, luckily we don't have VAR.
Okay, so that's good.
Luckily we don't have video, we can't get called back on stuff. So
yeah, that's what I love about some of the things. And I know I'm kind of giving a hard time to the refs, and everybody always gives a hard time to the referees and the officials, the umpires, and everything else like that. But sometimes they make it too easy. Sometimes it's just that way. But I have respect for the referees, and I will, at some point in time, eventually live with the call.
Well, you have to. I mean, I've been involved with soccer for 14, 15 years, and I've never seen a ref overturn a call.
Yeah.
And said, oh, you know what? You are right. Let me do it this way.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that's in the vocabulary. I think that's one of those hidden courses on the online course, is just how to tell people you are right without giving in. It's like, yeah, I did see that. I know exactly what you're talking about. No, you're wrong. Oh, I did see it. It was over here. I said, I don't care. Are you trying to tell me how to? Deflecting the answer. Are you trying to tell me how to do my job? Are you trying to tell me that? That's when. I'm sorry. That's a whole lot of Major League Baseball umpires. What are you saying?
Well, they have soccer is pretty hard to call referee, but the umpiring is that square and strike zone. I'm like, I don't get how they can do it.
It's the square. It's the strike zone. It changes for every batter. It changes for every pitcher. It changes for every ump.
Which is crazy.
Every ump has the way that they do that. It'll change from league to league. It'll change from little league to the pros and stuff like that, where they make it a little bit tighter. That little box that you see on TV, it's just a suggestion.
Yeah.
It's just a suggestion. But, sometimes there are obviously calls that are just out there. You can tell I like my sports bloopers and stuff like that, because I will watch those for hours. You start getting me on those on TikTok and forget it. 2 hours done. Easy. And next thing I know, I'm like, oh, my alarm goes off in 4 hours. I should go to sleep. But that has happened to me before. That's a time killer in itself.
Yeah.
But that's a job that you have to do that. You're learning about that. And I've done several referees before like that. Sometimes you have to make the call, but you stick by your, because that's what you saw. That's what you think you saw. That's what you're going to go with. And a lot of times, you can say right or wrong. That's just the way it is. But most of the time, let's just say a majority of the times they're going to get it right.
Yep, absolutely.
Every once in a while they're going to get it wrong. But if you miss 1 out of 20 calls, that's a pretty good percentage.
It's not bad.
No, that's pretty good. If we're talking baseball terms, that's a really good percentage, right? Phenomenal percentage right there. That's better than the percentage I get from messing while talking on the radio. So, so respect your referees. That's all I'm saying. People respect your referees.
You say whatever you want in your head, but
Oh, I do. Yeah. But is there anything else that you want anybody to know about the league and how they can get involved with that?
No, just basically, if you want a kid or if you have a kid that wants to play, search up Las Cruces Youth Soccer, look at the soccer Facebook group on Facebook, and then just watch soccer.
There you go. Just watch soccer. Be a part of soccer. You can do it. That's right there. And you can have American football when you have American football, but soccer in the U.S., you can watch it. And especially when you're watching all the foreign games, you're just trying to understand, what did he say?
Yep.
That's the way it goes. But thanks for stopping by, CW. I really appreciate you coming in to talk some soccer with us. We'll have to get like that adult league guys in here. And when the UDA guys come in there, maybe we'll let you know because they're a fun bunch of guys to go ahead and talk with all the time. But thanks a lot for coming in, CW, and thanks a lot for hanging out with us on the Mesilla Valley News Sports Podcast. As you know, every week on Tuesdays, we will be out here on the patio at the Broken Spoke. 6 o'clock is when we're going to start. Yeah, give or take right there. But every week you can come out and join us. And, of course, we have a lot of fun with the Sports Podcast brought to you by Instacopy Imaging. I'm Gino Aragon, and I will see you guys next Tuesday clock. There's the I found it, W.